Hey, it's Liz with Big Tex Worms, and I'm just going to do a really quick tutorial on how to build an easy square foot gardening bed. It took me about 30 minutes to build mine this year, and I'm just going to go over the basic steps really fast. First of all, you need to buy your supplies, of course. You can use wood for a frame, concrete blocks. I've seen people use just bricks, whatever. Last year I did use a wood frame, and I just got some wood from a construction site nearby. The foreman let me take some scrap wood, and so I basically built my frames for free. This year I decided to use concrete blocks so that way I can move them and they wouldn't rot. So I bought 12 of the 18-inch long blocks, and I'll show you a picture of them in just a minute, to make a 4x4 square. But you're also going to need newspaper, peat moss, vermiculite, compost, and then mulch for the top if you live in a drier area. Very important that you do use the peat moss, vermiculite, and compost. Don't just use one thing, and don't use soil from the ground. The whole point of using the raised bed square foot model is that you're going to create a really good environment for your plants to grow, and you want it to be really light, and that the peat moss and vermiculite and compost mixture works really well. So don't be tempted just to use one thing like compost or gardening soil. You really do need to use a mixture. So now I'm going to click over to my pictures here. This is the first picture when I just put the frame up. It took me about 5 minutes to unload these out of my truck. Let me move this over a bit. So I just made a frame. I cleaned out the bed just a little bit at the bottom. Next thing I did was just add shredded paper. You can use just newspaper. It doesn't have to be shredded paper. Then you just start layering your materials, your peat moss, your compost, your vermiculite, and you just mix it all up. And that's it. Until you just keep mixing and keep filling until your bed is full. So that's pretty much what it looks like when you're done. Then you're going to need to make your grid. And your grid is 1 foot squares. And I did it this year by just using some yarn I had from my sewing box. And then I used my garden stakes for my Christmas lights. And that's how I did it. If you use a wood frame, you could just staple your yarn or string right onto your wood frame, but with the blocks I couldn't do that. Here's just another close-up picture of the string. And then that's pretty much the way the 1 foot squares are going to look like here. You might want to use a brighter colored string than I did. I just didn't want the string to really show up that much, so that's why I used brown. And then there's just an extra picture of my teepee that I wanted to show y'all of what I made a little teepee for my pole beans. And that's not really part of my square foot beds, but I just thought that was a fun picture to show you. Also, I just wanted to comment that I'm using shredded leaves as my mulch layer because, of course, here in Texas, our summers get really hot, and that'll just help me use less water. And that's pretty much it. Make your bed, and then all you have to do now is plant. I hope this was fun, and I hope it showed you how easy it is to make a square foot bed. Bye-bye.